Try. I just we're back on. That was my bad. We got talking before the show and you know, just got talking before the show. And then I spaced out. Spaced out. It happens.
I distracted you. I'm sorry.
You
It's all my
distracted
fault.
me, man.
It's
You know what it is?
my
It's this
fault.
whole thing of like what am I gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Mhm.
Am I gonna have my big corporate boss come down and yell at me because I screwed up the intro? Because there's only one independent, truly independent media company in the area. So I'm gonna have my big bosses come down and because I screwed up the intro, they're gonna come down and yell at me. I want to know who my big bosses are.
Corporate's gonna be pissed.
Corporate's
Yeah.
gonna be pissed.
I don't want
I
to
read that
upset you, but
today.
Jeff Bezos wants a word.
Jeff Bezos once heard. I read today somewhere from a different media company in the area that they are the only truly independent media company in the whole area. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, Halsey, you're part of the spot. I consider you guys an independent media company. Fuzz, I don't know what the hell you are, but you're surely as hell independent in your media company.
Listen, if we're gonna make titles up for ourselves, I'm gonna say my show's got the biggest penis.
Wait,
in capital.
I'm sorry. Nippertown is being run out of a bedroom currently, right now.
It was my daughter's old bedroom.
Oh, I'm sorry, old bedroom.
It still does have the bed.
There's still a bed in there, and there's a closet full of Nippertown stuff.
Yeah. So I agree. Like, welcome to my world, corpse. But I just, like I said, I read it out today, and I said we are the only truly independent media company in the area, and I just about choked. Not really, because I don't take the person very seriously. Kind of hard to, but it's still, I was just like, what does somebody who says that think of us? What are we at that point?
I feel like Truman is going to come knocking on your door, yelling at you because he's like the CEO of Nippertown.
Better Truman than Odin.
True. He'll break the door down.
I don't want to get into that. I think there are so many truly independent media companies in this area. If you look at what Two Buttons Deep is doing,
that's awesome stuff.
Two Buttons Deep is independent media company, and they're killing it in their ballpark. What they're doing, I think the Spot is independent. I think Albany proper is independent. Mirth is independent. I think WEQX is not independent radio. Aren't they still independent? They're not owned by Clear Channels or anybody like that. They're not corporate.
No, they're still independent.
My point is we have this sanctuary for independent media in Troy. They have their own magazines and whatnot. My point is there's a lot of independent media in the area. So for somebody to say they're truly the only independent media, they're either on crack or delusions of grandeur, or I don't even know, whatever. They're positively not independent media, the only independent media.
I think, to be fair, Jim, there's, you can get into gray areas when you get up into big entities and stuff, what makes an independent newspaper or an independent public radio station or something like that. I mean, there's an argument there. When you get down the stack and you get into organizations that are largely volunteer run, that are not generating copious piles of cash and stuff like that, I mean, by default, they're independent, right? I mean, they're being run on volunteerism. They're being run on, passion and stuff like that. And to your point, there's a ton of them out there. People kind of busting their humps just to put out what they do because it's a labor of love. I agree. I mean, there's a lot of people doing that. they deserve the credit.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I would never say that we're the only one, because there's just so many good independent outlets out here. Civ Mix, I just thought, is another good one, and yeah,
Well,
there's
I
a
mean,
new arts one.
You say that my show doesn't fall in a category. I'm glad it doesn't, because I don't want to compete with anybody. I don't want to be the best. I don't want to be the only. I don't want to be number one. Like, I just want people to succeed. That's all. So I don't compete with anybody. I'm gonna do my show. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna do it well. And I mean, honestly, fuck everybody else. I really don't care
Right.
about that.
And you know what? And if they're out there and they're pushing local bands, local venues, then yay, good for them.
Yeah, we're all winning. The minute
you
you
know-
do that, we're all winning. Because if people don't go to shows, people don't play shows, businesses don't thrive, we don't thrive as a community. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I do believe that the rising tide could lift all ships, and there's a lot of room for collaboration in this industry, in this field, this area. But on a better note, power trios. So, look, I don't know about you guys, but there's something about a good power trio that is just truly special. So I'm going to start with Halsey.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite power trio?
don't take
Why do I
mine,
have to have-
Halsey. Don't take it.
That's not
Why
fair,
don't-
though. That's not fair, because favorite and great power trios, there's a lot of great ones. It's hard to pick a favorite. So
All right,
Don't
name a
favorite
great
band.
power trio that
There you
you
go.
like.
Well, let's see. I'm going to go with how I'm dressed right now. I'm going to go with
All right.
that. Okay. My inspiration, I think, when I look at all the power trios that are out there, not emphasis on power. I see power trio. When I see power, I think of just influential. I'm going to go with Nirvana.
Yeah, I knew when you said it. Look how you're dressed. They inspired your outfit today.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you look at Nirvana and the Seattle grunge scene from the 90s and just what it did and how it influenced my generation. All those bands that came out of Seattle, Nirvana being one of the top. I think Nirvana and Pearl Jam are the top two in my mind out of that scene. And to think that, after Kurt passed on, you got the Foo Fighters, right? So, I mean, it just, that legacy just continues on to today.
Do you think it's any coincidence that one of Kurt's favorite bands was the Meat Puppets? What's another power trio?
Oh no, I'm sure that's what they tried to mirror themselves as. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that some of the first songs that they really put together and recorded were, Meat Puppet songs. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they were definitely influenced by them.
Good one. Everybody agree. Nirvana's a good power trio.
of course,
Even with Pat Smear,
change
it wasn't
the pace of
enough.
rock and roll.
They became a power trio and a half. 3.5 men, 3.5 people in that power trio.
Pat
But
Smear's awesome.
yeah, and Tracy wrote, and who would have thought that Dave Grohl would have become the standout, because he almost didn't play. He almost didn't play the Unplugged because he couldn't quiet his drums down, and Kurt was getting so mad. I love watching documentaries on them. Amy, you were nervous that Mike was going to steal yours.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think I kind of know yours because you have a thing for drummers.
You think you know mine? All right, go ahead and
No. Go on.
Oh,
Who's
it
yours?
is a challenge right there.
Is the one you're thinking of a local band?
It wasn't.
Oh,
Is it a
so the
local?
one I'm thinking of is a local band only because they were my first photography shoot that you asked me to do to give you samples of what I can do. And so they made me realize I can actually do this again. And watching them, I'm still mesmerized to this day. I can watch them forever. I just love the dynamic of them. So can anybody guess who it is?
Well, now I know.
You know who it is.
I know
Super
who it is.
400.
Yeah.
Super
see,
400, yeah. Yeah.
like
Super
So who
400.
did you think it was going to be? Now I want to know who you think it was going to be.
I thought you were going to say Rush because of
Oh.
Neil Peart.
So,
Oh,
yeah, I was thinking that, but I don't know.
Neil
Like
Peart.
15 years ago, yeah, Rush would have been my answer, but maybe even a year ago, Rush still would have been my answer. But just recently, no, my whole life has been changing, and Super
I
400
think
was a big part of it.
Super 400 is like the perfect power trio because Kenny is the perfect lead. He incredible guitar, great voice, great presence on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't really kind of want to. He doesn't want to steal that show either, right? Like he doesn't.
No.
He'd like to kind of play. He doesn't have the lights on him, everything like that. But there's nothing the man can't play.
No, and when you're watching the three of them play, he acknowledges, like no offense to anybody that is a guitar player, but sometimes you guys get into your guitar and you don't pay attention to anybody else on the stage, right? When you get going. And he's not really like that. He like really like looks around and he's always in tune, like personally with everybody on the stage.
And Joe, I feel like every benefit, everything Joe Daly, just incredible drummer. And then I can't say enough awesome stuff about Lori,
very humble guy.
who, incredible bassist, even though I photographed her Monday with Family Tree.
When we were there, yes. Yep.
Because she's got the new 6-string bass and kind of look like a guitar. I know they're fatter strings, but I was like, it's kind of a cool little thing. But yeah, the three of them are incredible. And of course, they do play live with a fourth, what's pretty traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Chris has been playing with them. But yeah, that's a great power trio.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
Stampalia.
So I was expecting, unless you called me first, to have Rush come out, but my real answer is Rush. I've got a few answers for you, but I'm with Amy. I mean, things evolve and develop, and Neil's pass and whatnot. But Rush is and will always be it for me. But I have two more. So one going back a long ways.
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
Can I guess?
I just said it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
Is it Husker Du?
No, although that's
You
listen.
suck.
I got
See,
one.
that's really, I didn't hear you because I was thinking that you were going to go with Husker Du.
That was my first one to impress Stampalia.
No, I got one in mind. I'm gonna hold on to it.
I love that. I love that you said that, and I would have no qualm whatsoever. But the other two I would throw out, and one's pretty obscure, is I still think the Jimi Hendrix Experience set a bar that's real tough to throw stones at. But I don't want to do just national acts and have no love for the local scene. So I'm going to go way back in history and still keep it local. When I was in my early 20s, or it might have even been before then, but Dirty Face was the local band that really got me hooked. The Dirty Face was the local band, power trio. They eventually became a 4-piece, but when they were a power trio, they were the first local band that I didn't care where they played. I didn't care how often they played. I was there every single night at every single show. When they went on tour, I went with them and everything. They cast a big shadow in their time. They were essentially the default house band for the QE2, I would argue, and they carried that well. So
that's awesome. I'm going to take a few comments from the comment section. I was going to say the audience, but I don't know if that's an audience. I guess it is. Rosemary loves Husker Du. Speaking of power trios, I do my laundry and missed part of the conversation. Is anyone going to say the Howard Jones acoustic trio on Saturday? So yes, Howard Jones acoustic trio is going to be at Universal Preservation Hall. Don't know if they're a power trio, but we could talk about that. Matt, them Crooked Vultures, when that came out, it's Dave, or Foo Fighters is one of my favorite bands. Queens of the Stone Age, and Led Zeppelin are probably my 3 favorite bands of all time. So when them Crooked Vultures came out, that was like, it was the best super group for me. It was amazing. The 2 albums, the 2 vinyl sets downstairs in my collection for sure. Have you guys heard this group, them Crooked Vultures? Dave
No.
Grohl, John Paul Jones, and Josh Homme.
Okay, nice.
It's just it's fire. I don't know why I keep saying fire today, but it is. Before we get into Tracy's comments, I've got to give Fuzz the floor because we're going to steal all the good ones. Because he was going to say Husker Du, Justin impressed Stampede.
I was, and I got another one that's going to impress Stampede. I'm pretty sure. So, the Melvins is a big one.
Nice.
Sublime is another one.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and Jim and I both missed this one the other day when we were talking about it. But I mean, Kings of the Power Trio has got to be ZZ Top's got to be up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if we're going to throw
nice.
it back local, China White actually started as a trio.
Oh, I didn't realize they started as
nice.
a trio.
China White started as a trio. That's awesome.
And that was back in the like eyeliner makeup.
Who was the original 3?
It was Henry, Sean, and who was their first drummer? I know they were still a trio when OJ was in there. So it was Henry, Sean, and OJ is the one that I can remember.
Well, maybe the crowd will know. Anybody else in the chat know who the original
Pretty sure there
drummer
was a drummer before that. Stray Cats is another one, Tracy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that Stray Cats is that's a fun one. And
on ZZ Top, I got to give a shout out there. If you guys haven't seen, there's a documentary that was made about 2 years ago on ZZ Top called, The Little Old Band from Texas.
Great documentary.
That's a fantastic. I mean, I don't care if you're into ZZ Top or not. You will have a great 90 minutes watching that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So, we've missed a ton, of course. So we'll talk about a few. I'm definitely a stoner rock sludge type of dude. So Sleep is in the mix for me. I don't know if you guys know who Sleep is, but they're a great power trio. I was going to actually mention this one, but now that Tracy did it, have to bring it up. You can't talk about power trios without talking about Cream. You can't talk about Cream. And I think when Fuzz and I were talking about this yesterday and Lemmy came up and Motorhead came up, that's pretty much the volume that Fuzz said it.
Yeah,
like,
it was
Motorhead.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are, I don't know. So, what makes a great power trio? Amy, what do you think makes a great power trio?
Oh, I don't know. Because I'm not even dead set that it has to be 3.
No, a trio by definition is 3. So it needs to be 3.
No, I know, but I'm saying I know a trio means 3, but I'm saying I'm not like hell bent on it being 3. Green Day, that was my first cassette that I got at the record store downtown Troy.
All right.
I think it's just, if it's going to be 3, they really, really have to mesh. Like, they have to mesh because it's only the 3 of them and they really have to be strong. And if they're not, then it's going to be really obvious. You're not getting drowned out.
I think what's amazing is if you look at a band like Genesis or Triumph, right, what Tracy said, you look at Genesis, who's the weakest link in that band? You look at a band like Rush.
That's how this started.
And you look at Rush, and who is the weakest link? Alex? Alex is the weakest link in a band?
Yeah, he's only like, top 10 guitar players.
Right. But he is the weakest link in that band.
That's what makes a great power trio, though.
Yeah.
Like Nirvana. Chris? Dave was the weakest link of the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Out of the three of them, Dave Grohl was the weakest link, and he ended up becoming, he fronted Foo Fighters and became,
Huge.
Jimi Hendrix experience.
Mhm.
Jimmy, Mitch, Noah, Noel Redding. I mean, who's the weakest link?
I think
So-
as far as power trio goes, if you want, I mean, I don't say it's a defining factor of it, but it's three guys that make the noise of 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's just big noise from fewer people.
Look,
I was going to say the same
I'll
thing.
go back to the police too.
Yeah, right.
Who can pick the best? Who can pick the weakest link in the police?
I think Fuzz has a good point. It's a sound that you never would attribute to 3 people. You can't
No.
believe it's coming from 3 people. And the other thing I would call out for most of the best ones is there's that simultaneous thing of each member is playing their own thing. Like it's not over orchestrated. They're doing their own thing, but man, does it gel, right?
Mhm.
So like, if you pick any of them, The Experience, Rush, whatever, if you're listening to them, you could just zone in on one part and get lost in that for a half hour, but that one part goes perfectly with the other 2 parts, or sometimes 4 or 5 parts just from 3 people.
Yeah.
We
I
need
mean-
love from Motorhead.
Well,
Yeah, we could get love to Motorhead.
yeah, I mean, what we mentioned Green Day and we mentioned Motorhead, and maybe we need to mention them more. But Green Day is a great power trio. Motorhead, again, everybody knows Lemmy, but where is the weak link? There is not you can't have a weak link in a good power trio. And I think Fuzz nailed it. It
Right
sounds
there.
bigger. Oh yeah, Stevie Ray
Stevie
Vaughan.
Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
you can't get a better rhythm section than Tommy Shannon and Chris Layton.
So it's funny you mentioned that, Fuzz. Just pure coincidence. I literally watched the video of Voodoo Child from 1989 from Austin City Limits today. It popped up on my feed on something, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was just as blown away today as I was
Behind the
how many
back,
years
and
ago that was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, if you watch that Austin City Limits, there's a, I think it's Look at Little Sister. He breaks a string in the middle of the solo, continues on,
Oh, I love that video.
Yeah.
looks over his shoulder. His guitar tech comes out as he's in the middle of shaking like a tree, et cetera, and they swap the guitars out without missing a beat. Right back into it.
Yep.
It's absolutely amazing. That video is killer, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And somebody said, Rick Emmett plays around here, Triumph and stuff. Talus.
Another
Talus was
big
a
one.
huge
Oh.
band that came around, right?
Another
Great trio. But the one that I don't even know how many times I've seen them, at least a dozen times, is the lead singer's not, well, it's more like Motorhead where the lead singer is the bassist, right? The other group I'm thinking of, well, Rush, I guess the lead singer is bassist, but Les Claypool and Primus. Primus is a great power trio.
Yeah,
A lot
they're,
of fun. Primus.
Yeah.
how can you go wrong?
Yep.
So, I mean, there are some. I mean,
And you mentioned Talus, Jim. I mean, you got to throw in there too, because it's kind of it's. I guess we're going along the Billy Sheehan line, is the Winery Dogs, and that's for Amy because she absolutely loves Mike Portnoy. But that the Winery Dogs is an amazing power trio. Like
that's a super group. That's another. That's another trio. And by the way, Amy's going to be photographing Portnoy this Saturday or this Friday.
Mhm. With the Neil Morse band.
Wow.
For the Neil Morse
Nice.
band.
Yeah. Super
So-
excited.
Billy Sheehan was one of my favorite interviews. Did you ever have a conversation with him, like when he was around? Like he came to play with Talus a couple of years ago before and what's the name of that joint that Crossgates that closed down?
Oh, not the
Skyloft.
Funny Bone.
Yeah.
Before
Skyloft.
Skyloft, across
Jupiter Hall.
Jupiter Hall. Thank you. Yeah, he came into town to play with Talos.
He was on the Monday Mayhem with Johnny Morse, and he was live with us for like an hour or more.
So Jim tried to have a conversation with him.
I tried.
He's incredible, man. His memory and just like all the details and just he is an awesome conversation.
Oh, I'd kill to have a great memory.
Smart man.
Me too.
He remembers everything. Other bands that we forgot, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Tracy raises a good question. It's not tied to the trio, but I have to weigh in here. And I don't say this negatively because I love Nine Inch Nails, love Trent Reznor, but is Nine Inch Nails a band? No.
No.
It's Trent Reznor.
I don't know about you, but if I hear somebody say, "Oh, I love them,"
him,
you know, it's just
now in this world, Mike, them is appropriate.
Yes, in the world of new pronouns, yes.
Yes,
but the world of new pronouns, they can now say them and refer to Nine Inch Nails, and you could be like, "Oh,
I apologize." For Trent, I apologize if you go by that as your pronoun.
But that was very different. That was very different 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. I mean, I don't think society expects us to get it right off the bat. Like we're all trying. As long as you're trying, I think that is really all that matters.
Yeah.
I know one of you guys said Sublime.
Did we?
Yeah, Fuzz said Sublime.
Fuzz said Sublime. If there's a band that I miss on a good summer day more than any other band, there is nothing that says summer to me like Sublime.
Mm-hmm.
What about
it says something different for me, but we'll go with that.
Look, of course it's going to be music for me, though.
That was my teenage years, and my teenage years are... well, Stampalia knows. That's all I'm going to say.
When I think summer, I mean, I'm making myself older and older the more I talk here, but summertime on a grill, beer in a park somewhere, I think Creedence Clearwater Revival. That's the soundtrack for me.
Okay, there you go.
So another power trio we haven't mentioned. Nobody's mentioned. I haven't seen it in the chat. So
Wilson Phillips.
There you go.
Blink 182.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
And I saw them too. They're
Travis
fantastic
Parker, man.
live.
You have a drummer like that. You don't need a whole lot else, right?
No.
Matt Skiba, Matt Delgado, the Velmas.
The Velmas, yeah.
Local trio.
You know, I was gonna go, since I've been on an emo trip like the past month or so, listening to My Chemical Romance. Gotta go with 30 Seconds to Mars. Man,
yeah,
that Jordan Catalano really can play.
Oh,
please, somebody got the reference to that. I know somebody from the 90s got that reference.
On the heavier end of it, Jim, you got Raven,
Dying Fetus,
Prong.
Dying Fetus.
Prong is a good one.
And Venom is another one.
Another good one. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of pick. I mean, Mike has said emo.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like pop punk.
Yes.
Paramore is in there. Paramore is a power trio, right?
Yep.
And Tracy Leach. Yes, Grand Funk Railroad was a trio, and I am one day old since I knew that.
Yeah.
I forgot totally that Grand Funk Railroad was a
Tracy
trio.
knows their music.
And it blew my mind because I was, we were talking again, Fuzz and I were talking yesterday, and we were going back and forth, and Grand Funk Railroad came up, and I was like, there's no way they're a trio. And they are. I mean, I'm wrong. I mean, they're a trio, but I was just like, how did I not know that?
It's
But
funny
how about,
as we're discussing, we're talking about power trio bands, and I keep looking in the chat. How could you not mention this band or that band? They're so good. How can you not do that? I'm not a musician, so someone can step
I'm
in
not either.
and correct me. But for me, I get the impression that in order for a trio to be halfway decent, and sound good, you got to be each of the three. It's like a three-legged chair, right? If one of those legs is off, you're not sitting in that chair. I mean, it's got to be, you're all three of you got to be good. And so that's why we're talking about them, because each of those musicians in those particular bands are just phenomenal musicians. And I think of a local band who I really love, who just announced that they're not going to be producing music together anymore after they have a release coming up, is Hasty Page. And they just
good. Yeah.
two of the three come out of St. Rose, and the other one comes from the school of Berkeley. And man, they produce such great stuff. So I'm kind of sad to see them.
Well, it's sad, but
they're
Josh is
moving
going
on.
to do a solo thing, and then of course he's doing Dark Honey,
Honey.
he's in the Girl Blue full band.
Yeah,
and I mean,
Dan's gone down to Nashville.
Yep.
So it's
so they're all playing. The other local band that people probably want to say is Wild Adriatic, because they started out and they rose. I think they rose to their peak as a trio. I think they rose to their peak as a trio.
Yeah, they started out and then they moved on and grew from there, 4 or 5, sometimes 6 on the stage.
We have I'm waiting for some video to come up, and as soon as video comes up, I think we have another person added to the crew.
What?
What's this?
That's craziness.
Because we're going to be a sextet. We're going to be 2 power trios, a duo trio, maybe. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. So, the Doobie Brothers, that was like 3 trios in the same band, because there was like 9 of them at once, right?
I'll tell you, they're still. Yeah, I did know that, Tracy. I actually saw Muse down in New Jersey. And when they tour, they're not a 3-piece though. There's a lot of bands when they go live, they add keys and stuff. But yeah, the Doobie Brothers has like a ton of people on stage. Yeah. They're still great live.
Oh yeah,
I love keys. I mean, I like keys as an add-on, and I like keys as solo. I mean, keys are just great.
The other big national act I think of that we haven't mentioned yet as a trio, right in their name, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yes. Yeah, somebody wrote ELP.
Oh, did they? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
The Googler. No. She is the only truly independent Googler.
Fuzzed it up. Don't mind him. Fuzzed it up.
That one was my fault, I guess.
I think for Valentine's Day, I'm going to get Fuzz a pair of shorts that he can stand up in that still look nude but have his face in the front.
Dude, what the fuck? That ain't even
I don't know if I want that.
It's censored. It's Facebook fine.
Facebook. You okay there, man?
Dude, I almost lost like $3,000 worth of equipment right there.
Hey, that's what good comedy is. You circle back around. Circle back around.
You're gonna say anything? I'm gonna drink again. Are you gonna say anything?
So who is this joining us? I want to know who's joining us.
It's supposed to be Ralph, but I'm waiting for his video to come up.
Oh, I'm always more the merrier type of person.
This thing, I like the logo, Capital Underground on Nippertown, but it's got to be the face.
Gabuch? Is it Gabuch? No.
Wait.
There's the face. There's the face I wanted to see.
Look at the sexy hair on that motherfucker. Damn, bro.
Oh, we can't hear him.
Hey, you.
No audio again.
Just like old times.
Just like old times.
You gotta click that
Just
button,
like
dude.
old times.
My God, come on.
Everybody say hi to Ralph.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi, Ralph.
We didn't hear
He
you,
just-
but we recognized the sign language there. We knew
So
what
I had
that meant.
sound issues
Yeah,
too when I
we're
first
number
started.
one.
I had to call my personal IT guy in the fix.
Can you guys hear me now?
Whoa.
We can hear you now.
Is that too
deep
loud?
radio.
That hurt my ears.
That's
Should
a
I
good
step
deep
out?
radio voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
Feels
How
good
you
to be
doing,
back.
man?
I'm all right, man. The pneumonia kicked my ass, but I think I kicked its ass well enough to actually go to band rehearsal for the first time and finish to actually start jamming as an original band was the first night tonight. And an hour and 15 minutes in, I'm like, I think we got a lot done. You know, I'm getting a little tired.
Is the tradition a trio?
Yeah.
All that's in the back of my mind is I got to get home in time to get on the crew because I wanted to be here. And then the last minute this morning, I'm like, Jim, I don't know if I can make it. But yeah, it was fun. It was energetic. I'm all amped up. I'm actually angry from playing.
Hydrate.
Wow.
So we're talking about power trios.
Well,
And we
actually,
probably need-
that's funny you say that because tonight was just myself and Anthony Delano, the drummer. But my old buddy from Flat Broke, Last Call, Echo Daylight, now in the Refrigerators, Mike Shutt. We're going to try to keep this a trio or 4-piece, but start as a trio. And you were talking about power trios, and I'm thinking power trios. So, hey, Stampalia, you got your hoodie on too. Ah, we're all long sleeve. Wow. So, who's your favorite power trio?
Oh man, we gonna get through this again?
Yeah, we've been talking about them, so I forgot who I even said. Who did I say?
You know, it was a great power trio. Forgotten about band. Fuzz, we used to play them all the time. King's X.
King's X is another
That's one
go.
we didn't hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Jim
week I
couldn't
forgot-
remember, but Jim's was Wilson Phillips, just for the record.
Wilson Phillips. Yeah,
I
mine
love
was
that answer. That's a great answer. Love
Wilson
it.
Phillips.
Mine was Wilson Phillips. That's right.
They were a power trio.
Sure.
They were a
I
trio.
think so.
They don't get any more powerful than that trio, Ralph. Come on.
No,
I mean,
guess
the pedigree alone, dude. Come on.
yeah, I guess you're right. No headphones tonight, just using the microphone on the computer. I'm not too loud, right?
That's why you're echoing?
Am I echoing? Am I echoing?
No,
I
you're
don't
good.
hear an echo.
I don't
No.
know.
I don't hear an
Don't
echo.
mess with me, dude, when the sound's Come on now.
So
Why did you invite Halsey this week?
because we talked
It's
to
not
you,
like-
because I'm going to circle back to this. I read something on the internet.
Please
today.
don't say circle back.
Oh, boy.
I read something on the internet today
Thank you.
that said that a certain entity was the only truly independent media company in the whole region, in the whole area. And so
Oh,
Halsey is here because we wanted to figure out what does independent mean.
Was it an anonymous post or did it actually come from the entity itself?
It came from the entity.
Well, then we should probably not give them credit for bragging that they're the only true Soulful band. We know that Nippertown is one of the biggest entities, and we're not the only because we know
But there's so many good. That's what we were saying. There's so many good independent media companies. There's so many good ones that we like to partner with, and we like to hang. You know, Talus, Jeff is back in the game, and yeah, we mentioned Talus. Talus is a great power trio.
Mhm.
Yeah. So hold on now. You're going ADD.
Well, now Tracy took this into a whole
I
other
was
level.
just gonna say, let's put that one up there.
Wow, Tracy,
We can talk about that tomorrow night.
you get down, girl.
Fuzz, I think you have a
So
topic
there
for your
was-
show tomorrow night.
There was controversy before I got here, actually, on the crew.
It was all good. So we talked about independent media, that there's a lot of independent media. It's not really only one, truly one. We talked about power trios.
Right.
And then we only have 15 minutes left. I wanted to talk about March Music Madness.
Do it. Go.
And the reason I call it March Music Madness is because if you use March Madness, the NCAA can kind of come after you.
Right. It's like the Super Bowl. You have to call it the big game.
Right. The big game and all that.
Right.
But I will tell you guys, this March Music Madness, Nippertown, we're already up over 60 bands nominated. So last year we had 155 bands nominated.
I'm coming.
So keep them coming in. You go right to nippertown.com. On the side, you'll see nominate your favorite bands. So make sure you nominate your favorite bands because the winner is going to get $500.
Wow.
And the winner is going to get $500 cash, or probably Venmo, not cash.
Let me say this. Is that other bragging entity actually giving bands money like Nippertown? Because that would make us the biggest. I mean, if not the only entity.
No, we're the coolest.
I guess so. So it would make
Yeah,
us the coolest entity, but not the only entity. We'll never claim that because we know that.
And the friendliest.
It's because we have corporate sponsorship because I'm in my daughter's bedroom. So
And True has been knocking on the door.
and Fuzz is now sponsored by Shure Mics.
I wish.
Way.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing, guys. Let me just say one thing, and it can probably sum up this whole thing. Some people shop at Tiffany's in the city, and some people go to the jewelry counter at Walmart.
That's it. Brought to you by the color green.
I like Walmart. I always like Caldor. I was a big Bradley's fan. Ames, Kmart, and if you could think back as far as to Montgomery Ward.
Yes.
Catalog.
Wait.
Every
Ralph, I'll
Christmas,
see.
I looked for the catalog and I would circle that, because someday I wanted to be the only entity that had those sneakers from Montgomery Ward's. You know what I mean?
I'll
either
see
you have
your.
Montgomery Ward sneakers or you order them online from Michael Jordan.
We need a green siren and do the green light special. Tracy's got a good idea. We need to bring her on sometime. She's got to come to the crew.
She has great ideas.
Yeah,
I like that Ralph's going way, way back with the stores, but I'll see your Montgomery Ward and give you.
Name them all: Caldor,
No.
Bradley's, Montgomery
he's
Ward's,
probably got another
Kmart,
one.
James Way.
James Way. Do it.
Carl Company.
Carl Company, Sears.
Do you guys remember Carl's
Denby's.
Drugs?
How about this? How about King's department store was in Albany where ShopRite is now.
Yeah.
And Two Guys was where that bowling alley is.
Two Guys. That's right here in my hood.
It must
That's
be
right, buddy.
young.
I
don't
forgot
know these
Two
things.
Guys.
I love you guys. We used to. Did you guys have a Woolworths out here?
Yeah.
Woolworths.
Oh, yeah.
Five and Dime.
Woolworths. Yes.
It's a snack
Jim.
counter?
At a Woolworth in Saratoga.
Oh my.
Yeah, we had one in Herkimer. I grew
Oh
up in
my.
Herkimer. We had a Montgomery Ward, and you would do
You
the
just went
layaway.
through-
We had a Kmart, of course. We had Nichols.
I'm going to confess here. I not only know of Montgomery Wards, I worked at Montgomery Ward.
What the hell is Flaws?
Nice.
Wow. How old are you, Mike?
Yeah, Plaza is another one. Grants. Yeah.
Philosophy. Yeah.
So how about present company and service merchandise? They're on Wolf Road.
Service merchandise. Love that.
One of
place.
these days, our kids are going to say, "Do you guys remember Sears? Because aren't they
Wait.
out of business
Oh.
now?"
Jim, you might know
How
this one. I
about-
don't know if
Corvettes.
the rest do. Do you
How
remember
about-
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Amy. I'm sorry.
Jim, do you remember the photography store in Stuyvesant Plaza where we used to get our darkroom materials from?
Not really.
No, I didn't live here.
Going nerd on me.
I used to go to Ray's photo stuff in Glens Falls. I used to have to
So-
drive like an hour or two to get to it.
If Rudy was on here, Rudy and I were talking about it because he too started in a darkroom. And when I bought his camera off of him, we were talking about it. And I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the photo store in Stuyvesant Plaza. It's no longer there.
I bought so many 45s from Woolworths. I don't know the name of that, but I bought so many 45s at the Woolworths in Herkimer. What was your guys? Okay, while we're talking about old stores, again, I grew up in the middle. I grew up in Herkimer. We had one in Utica too. The last unicorn was my record store. What was everyone's record store?
The one downtown Troy, and I can't think of the name of it.
Music
The
Shack.
Music Shack.
The Music Shack, yeah.
Nice.
That's where I got my Green Day
Albany and
cassette
Troy.
from.
Got to go to both. Different selection, different people working, different friends. But does anyone remember Rent-A-Center? Has anyone ever used Rent-A-Center? I've
Well,
never used
They
Rent-A-Center.
still
I've never
have
used
those.
one.
They're still around.
They-
Yeah.
They're still
Yeah,
around.
I'm still
Yeah.
paying. I'm
Why?
still paying $20 a month for the couch right back here.
So Strawberries was my spot. It was Strawberries in Northway Mall. My buddy worked there, and we would always take the garbage out every night, then drive around to the dumpster and just pick up all of our.
I would have
Nice.
to say. I would have to say it started for. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
There was Borders on Wolf Road had the best import section other than Music Shack. They had killer.
That's true. Yeah, they had a lot of
Last
good
Vestige.
reports.
I
It's just
still-
their prices were outrageous, man.
I still
Yeah.
love Last Vestige, though. I have their shirt somewhere around here. I should wear it next time I'm on.
I was
Fuzz,
in Last Vestige 2 days ago. I love
Yeah,
Last
that-
Vestige.
Fuzz
For
I
mall
mentioned-
rats.
every Saturday morning. But
For me, I was a
Buzz-
mall rat, so I was always at
Buzz
Crossgates
mentioned
Mall. It was
two
always
guys.
Record Town and Tape World.
Fuzz, you mentioned two guys.
Yeah, Tape World, Record Town. Fuzz mentioned two guys. I remember being real young and seeing Black Sabbath Born Again, and I was like, wow, this is a sick album cover. But I had already heard Ozzy, and I didn't like, I was like, well, who is this? And I didn't like Black Sabbath after that. I mean, obviously, Ozzy Days Dio, but Fuzz said two guys. I would go to two guys. And then Record Town in Latham was huge.
Is that the one in the mall?
In the mall, right? Latham.
Yes, yes. I was gonna say that. Yep.
But that was huge. So those were two. And then, of course, we discovered Music Shack, Last Vestige, and one in Troy, the one in Albany. The Blue Note. I used to go to the Blue Note a lot because when I started DJing, I would do weddings. I used to have to wear a tux. And I worked for this place called Soundtastic DJ Entertainment.
that sounds
Shame on myself. Yep. And I used to work with John Gabriel, I believe, and Walt Adams, and we all worked in Fender's, the oldies club. Man, what a meat market that was for a 21-year-old. Dude,
Cougars.
holy
Yes,
shit.
sir.
I didn't get laid once out of that place.
Oh,
I
get out of here.
I should have.
You guys,
Oh,
you guys remember having to buy the concert tickets? There was only like 2 or 3 locations you could actually line up and buy concert tickets, and
Ticketron.
Well, no, so again, I grew up in Saratoga, but I think the Carl Company was one of them. You could go to the mall and buy tickets at the Carl Company for SPAC and things like that. That was
That wasn't too long ago, was it?
Ralph
Ralph
would
was like
understand this one.
40 years ago or 45 years ago.
Ralph would get this one. So a lot of places I used to get my CDs was at the prize bin at WVCR. That was a good place to get records.
Right. We had a big, very big metal cabinet in the back that would lock that everybody always tried to get into. Now, at the time, I was metal director, and everybody would, I was working, and they all knew the one mail day.
What a great job title. What's your job?
Metal director at WVCR, 8 years old, and Fuzz and the Anarchist and Pat Bruno, and everybody would show up on Tuesday because they knew all the mail was coming, and it was all addressed to me. Director, and it was like boxes. Like they would, back then, they would send us a box. We were playing the new, I think it was No More Tears, the album, the Ozzy that album, No More Tears. They would, and if we would play it, they knew that next Tuesday we were getting 30 CDs in the mail. And sure enough, if I had 30 CDs, Fuzz, Pat, Arnold, everybody would get one. And then I would stick aside another 10 just for the other DJs because they all worked there for free. So we knew to share the love, but it was I had the key to the cabinet. Everybody always wanted to get in there and look. But yeah, we used to share, man. It was really cool. There was some fun times. The free stuff, the promotional radio stuff. I don't know, Fuzz, did you keep any? Because I got rid of every.
I still have a lot of it. Yeah. Well, after you left,
single thing. I shouldn't have, but I did. So I was like, I don't need CDs anymore. They just take up space, dust. I don't listen to them. There's Spotify.
I did the same thing, Ralph.
Yep.
I did
Got
the
rid of
same
them all,
thing.
Mike.
Tracy just jogged a memory for me. So there was this place right after college. I worked in downtown Albany, and there was this literally a closet of a place on North Pearl that was right next to the convenience store there. Or not the convenience store, the department store that's there. And you could get tape cassettes and CDs on the cheap. And CDs were like $5, maybe $2, right? And tape cassettes were $1. And you could get, like, I got Nirvana. We were talking about Nirvana earlier. I got Nirvana Unplugged there for like $2-3. The brand new. It was just, they would get stuff on the wholesale and just would put it right there. I got so much good music from over there. It was nuts. And I just can't remember the name of the place. It was just, like I said, it was literally a closet. 2 people couldn't be in the store, or 3 people couldn't be in the store because it would just be too many people in there.
The other thing I liked about the old record clubs is you can get pins, you can get everything you wanted. You have, and you still, like, if you go to River Street Beat Shop and stuff, they have all the pins and stuff up there, and there's something about the feel of a good record store.
So I was just in the beat shop over the weekend, and I was talking to Jim because not you, obviously, the other Jim Barrett, and I brought down boxes of records for him to look through, and he was going through, and we were talking and everything like that. And I'll tell you what, I've been going there for years, and that place does not change, but he always has a great selection. Like, always has a great selection. That man knows his music like you wouldn't believe.
So I go in.
Yes.
I look.
I was just about.
So I have my favorite spot of both of them. I go in, I go to the left of there, and in that rack, I go all the way to the right for the local section. In the last vestige, I go in, I go out the left side all the way straight down to the end. There's a local section. Other than that, that's what I look at. Then it just usually go through, pick up one.
I don't buy records.
Tracy asked a good question. So here's one for you. How many times did all of you sign up for Columbia House to get 350 albums for the price of $3?
Let me rephrase that.
I did it so many times that so many for a penny, and then you every month
buy one album. Yeah.
And then
Can I rephrase that? How many people robbed that company and never paid them for the 10 CDs for a penny? 100
I never did that.
I couldn't do that.
Other people, completely different names, did it multiple times.
Fun story about that is I got most of my CDs from there, and I had a huge collection in there. You know those binders that hold, like, I don't even know, a couple hundred?
Yeah,
maybe they're like really thick. You know, where's my camera? Really thick. I used to go to Florida every year to stay with my aunt in the summer, and I actually got stoned and left it underneath my goddamn seat on the airplane. And it wasn't until I was 3 hours away from the airport that I realized I left my binder of CDs for my Discman, because I had a Discman, and left them on the fucking plane. And I called them, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, of course not. But most were from there. Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like I talk over people. And I'm trying to be more considerate.
No, you're fine, Ralph.
Okay. So, the hell was I going to say?
I was talking about how I lost hundreds of CDs on a plane because I'm an idiot.
Oh,
March music.
I got it. Before you get into that, let me just get this butt up. So my friend, I'm not going to give up his real name, but what he would do so for instance, if his name was John Stanwyck, he would change the I to an O and it would become the John Stanwalk at his address. Yeah. I'm not just saying like just these 10 CDs for a penny. He would order crazy merchandise. And these are the places that would bill you later kind of thing. And they couldn't fight it because the name was wrong. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Someone's ordering stuff. I'd probably send it to my address. And man, he was the biggest scammer I ever met. But I like that dude.
It's
Sure.
your, you know what? It's your friend's fault that a society is the way that it is today.
No, I don't think it was my friend's fault. I think society is the way it is because Caldor and Bradley's and Kmart went out of business.
all those truly independent stores.
Exactly.
They were
Which leads us back to March.
if they only had a big corporate entity behind them.
True.
If they only had a
You
Truman.
get all these old stores and stuff. Think about this. Before like everything went online, and so credit cards had that machine that you run, you run it
Yep.
through.
Yep, the paper, carbon.
Yeah, you didn't actually like
Imagine
bill it right away.
scammers back in that day, and nobody really did it. I mean, I'm sure there was some, but I mean, nobody realized that you could just do that, like grab a fake card and run around and just have them run it through everything.
No, nobody realized that.
That's crazy. Like, and now here we are today. Technology improves, and
You got to be careful about the gas station pump that it might be one of those inserted ones. And you're like, are you one of those people that like go up to? I am. I'll go up to it and I'll pull on it. I'm like, are you falling out?
I could bring it back there, Tracy. Anytime. Tracy, all you have to say is bring it back, and I'll get it back there somehow. I'll do that connection. Go ahead, Ralph.
So what did everybody want to be when they were in order? Starting with Jim, Fuzz, Halsey, Amy.
Wait, it would be
What did you want to be when you were little? What did you want to grow up and be? What is your dream? Everybody
President
wants
of
to
the
be
United
something
States.
when they're little. Like
I wanted to be president of the United States when I was really little,
You
and
can
I was
still
going to
do
live
that,
there,
man. you can
and I
still
was
do
going to live in Gilbertcello instead of Monticello. And then eventually I wanted to be a nuclear engineer. And I wanted to be a nuclear engineer until I went to college.
So you want to be Jimmy Carter?
I was going to be an environmentalist and do fusion and save the world.
Fuzz,
I wanted to be a garbage man.
Halsey.
I wanted to be
That
the
was
next
it,
Nolan
Buzz.
Ryan,
Keep going.
but
You
Fuzz,
wanted to
what
be
do
Nolan
you want to
Ryan?
do? Let's let Fuzz finish his answer.
Okay, Fuzz, you wanted to be a million things like Jim. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to be a garbage man, but I used to spend hours on my front steps because we had the railing there, and I would stand on the side of the rail that was like this big, like I was on the back of the truck, and I would climb on and off probably 400 times and pretend I was dumping cans onto the steps and then
Nice.
get back on.
I want to go back to Ralph. I didn't want to be a million things. I said president and then nuclear engineer. Can't you fucking count it too? Jesus. Where did you go to school, Troy?
That was spicy.
Oh no!
President.
Don't do that to Troy.
Who the fuck changed my name? What's up with
Ralph,
that?
Ralph, was your elementary school
Yeah.
middle school too?
I don't know who changed your
You
name.
guys.
Let's move
Oh,
on.
you guys are killing me. Halsey, what did you want to be when you were little?
I wanted to be the next Nolan Ryan.
That's it.
Nolan Ryan. What do you mean that's it? He is the end all, be all, alpha and the omega pitcher in baseball. He is
Did
the
you
best.
ever want to be like the metal director of a radio station?
Today is the first day I ever heard the title, and now I want it on my resume.
I don't
think
like
I'm
that
gonna-
you guys are fucking with my name. I really don't.
It's
do.
I'm
It's
the
like
only
going to
one-
lunch with Fuzz and Jim and trying and telling them you want to pay the bill, and they both look at each other and go, and
Listen,
we eat lunch, and I go to pay the bill, and Jim
I'm-
already paid it. He's like, I didn't pay it. Nipper
I'm-
paid it. And
He
he
does
takes a
that.
tax
Get
write-off.
used to
It's like
it.
an insult.
He does that.
listen. I'm the only geek that's going by his full name here. Everybody else has got a nickname. So
So wait, Halsey,
Roll with
did
it.
you with the Nolan Ryan thing? Did you actually play baseball for like high school and college and
he's
stuff
a good
like that,
he's a good ball player.
or did you like
Oh,
stop
no.
at farm?
He's good.
I played ball. I sat the bench my senior year, but
Nolan
in high
Ryan
school.
sucks.
But I mean,
He sucks. I
dude,
pissed on his
knock
baseball.
him out. Get him out. No.
Oh,
Yes,
my.
no.
That's fighting words.
Fuzz, dump your garbage on him. Dump your
Nolan
garbage.
Ryan was the only truly independent baseball player.
Amy,
Dump your garbage.
Amy, what did you want to be?
A fine arts illustrator for Disney, and I wanted
Oh.
to be that until my first year of college when I had signed up to pay the astronomical fee of Sage of Albany and found out that Pixar merged with Disney, and they let go of all of their illustrators that were not basically tenured with them, and they weren't going to be hiring any more new illustrators. They were just going to keep the originals, the ones that had been there for X amount of years. And so halfway, or my first year of college, I had to figure out that I was wasting my money.
By the way, guys, I said I wanted to be president of the United States. Another great power trio, presidents of the United States.
Of America.
Of America.
Millions of people.
Because lump.
In my head. Is that
Lump.
Peaches too? The Peaches song?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Peaches too.
Stempalia, what were your childhood dreams? What did you want to be?
When I was real little, I wanted to be an
Yeah.
astronomer till I turned about 12. Then I wanted to be a DJ, and I still want to be a DJ.
You should be.
You are.
I was a DJ a couple times, but I would trade it all in right now to be a
That's
DJ
it.
again in a minute.
We need to start a radio station just
And-
so
and-
Mike can be a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I was, for the record, I was a DJ. My first DJ gig was at WSPN up in Saratoga. I did a radio gig there, and then I was a DJ at the Q for probably 4 years there.
Well, we
So,
already
Jim, we
discussed.
And we have enough people to be DJs.
We already discussed Fuzz and Stempalia jumping on Shuffle Extreme when they wanted to, and we should probably jump on that again. Jim has big dreams of being president and starting a radio station now because he wants to be the only entity out there for local music radio. And I understand why. So when I was a child,
Oh, we're out of time.
Child,
Bye, everyone.
I used to go to the assembly with my father, and he'd bring me to work with him. This is in the days where they would smoke cigarettes and there'd be ashtrays with like 700 cigarette butts in them. And you walk out of this office and you're in the assembly. And I used to sit there and flick like rubber bands off the thing onto the center. I got kicked out. I was like 6. You know what I wanted to be?
A page.
An elevator operator.
Yes.
Nice.
The dude who ran the elevator and closed the door because they had those old metal doors. They still do.
You wear a fancy hat?
Dude, I wanted to be that dude. And then for some reason, I became a DJ loser and went nowhere in all these amazing entities. And I just didn't go anywhere until I made it to Nippertown. And here I am.
So, Ralph, one thing I've learned recently is that it's not too late to find your path.
You think I should be an elevator operator?
You should.
So,
Well,
I could
I mean, I
see
just
Ralph
quit
as
my
an
career
elevator
yesterday.
operator.
Yeah.
I could see Ralph as an elevator operator. Be like, okay, 5th floor hardware, get the fuck off my elevator.
No, I wouldn't swear. I wouldn't swear at the people. You can't.
The coolest elevator
You gotta wear a
operator
fancy
gig,
hat.
the
It's
best
got nothing
elevator
to
operator
do-
gig in Albany is at the Egg. Those are the
Got
gigs you
nothing
want.
to do with
yeah.
London an elevator because this was 11, 15. I was 5 to 8 years old. That song didn't come out till I was like 19. So no
So
Tracy.
you know who
or
could
nothing.
use an elevator operator is Colony Center when you're coming out of a movie, since you got to take the elevator down. You could always just practice there. Just wear a fancy outfit and
Wear
a
the
fancy
suit,
hat,
open the door.
and just,
Well, how are
just be
you?
there on Friday and Saturday night and be like, "Are you going down?"
All right, I'll practice right now.
Oh boy.
Oh, hello. How you doing? How are you doing, Mr. Gilbert? Nice to see you this morning. What did you have for breakfast?
Are you going down?
What are you going down? Are you going down? Are you going up? Because I have options. I have options. Mr. Gilbert. And you know
Yes,
what?
the female on here brought it to that level.
I mean,
The one thing
everyone our age at least had love in an elevator at least once because of that song. We found an elevator that we could figure out, stop that button, and
So what this all comes back to is the entity of March Music Madness. Jim,
March Music Madness. Go nominate your bands. We're over time, but the winner is getting $500 and 3 days at White Lake Music, engineering, sound, everything. 3 days. That's like couple $1,000 or more than a couple $1,000 right there, plus the $500. And the winner is going to be playing Nipperfest 2022 main stage. Second place, I think it's like $300. Third and fourth place is $200.
Mhm.
And if you are in 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th place, so all the way to 8th place, you're still getting $100.
Boom.
And then we're working on more prizes from our incredible sponsors. And I mean, wait until you guys see the sponsor list. It is really who's who in local music scene.
When is our entity announcing March Music Madness? Is it out there yet?
It's out there. The nominations are coming. Yeah, the nominations stop our end on February 19th, I believe. So in 10 days, the nominations stop. And then we start it up. And so right now, people are signing up to be sponsors. So if they want to be a sponsor, they can reach out to me or they can reach out to Amy at nippertown.com.
Okay. Now,
With the camera.
She's
March
like, wait, no. It's over here. It's here.
Well, because you made me switch the mirror thing, and now it's like throwing me off. So you guys can all read it, but I can't.
It says nipper instead of ripping.
Reppin'.
March Music Madness is going to make Nippertown a stronger entity.
So last year's winner was Glass Pony,
Mhm.
and then last week they kind of blew me away because they released a new EP called Live from Nippertown.
That's an
And I
honor.
was just
Yes.
like,
Thank you to Glass Pony for doing that.
but
And they recorded it at White Lake, right?
at High Peaks.
No.
High Peaks. I'm sorry,
High
High
Peaks,
Peaks.
yeah.
They recorded it
gotta
at
get-
High Peaks.
And
IP.
they didn't call it Live at the only entity for local music. They called it Live at Nippertown. So I don't know why.
And the winner
they
this time
finally-
can say live at Nipperfest and post a video.
Wow.
Yeah,
There's a lot
no,
going
so
on.
it was a lot of fun last year. It was a lot of fun. Mike and I did it every week. Every Wednesday we would break it down, right, Mike?
Oh
Kelsey?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We break it down every Wednesday. We are partnered with the Spot again this year. So voting every week is going to be from, I believe, Wednesday is when we announce it. So voting goes from Wednesday night to Saturday night. That way we close the voting on Saturdays so that I can get the final list to Mike on Sunday so that it can be in print on Monday and come out on Wednesday because it's a whole cycle.
Okay. But I still think that Jim Rice would kick Nolan Ryan's ass quick. Jim
Two different
Rice,
sports, dude.
Boston Red Sox from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, Jim Rice.
Jim Rice, yes.
Well,
I was a
he got
Boston
his
Red
ass
Sox.
kicked by Dave Winfield. So I mean, yeah,
True.
it's possible. Unless
Didn't
you're
like
Robin
Nolan
Ventura.
Ryan. Didn't like his name. I don't like his name. I didn't like his baseball cards. Go ahead.
That's name in baseball, Bucky Dent.
There you go.
Bucky
There you
Dent.
are. Yes.
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh
right?
fingers.
Raleigh Fingers.
Right, that's like a porn name. Raleigh Fingers. Starring Raleigh Fingers and Nolan Ryan. What a boring name. Sounds like a guy who like wants to be president.
It's not my name. I'm just. It's all
Hey
good.
Jim,
Yep.
are we ready to give the parting sayonara of the show? Because I have a good way to close it out if you'd like.
Who's the dick?
Wait, we didn't talk about what's coming up. We
This is
always
great.
talk about
Ralph
what's coming up this
Raleigh
weekend. I
What-
know
what
we're
was
past
this?
time, but we didn't talk about what's coming up this weekend.
Oh, we'll have time for that. Everybody, all you have to do is tomorrow night, 7:00, tune into That Fuzzing Rock Show. Find out what's
That's
coming
it?
up. That's it.
That's
6:00 tomorrow night on WEXT will be our Nippertown Local 518 Music Report, and then every morning on Nippertown, go and look at the top tips. That's really all you need to do, or go to the calendar every day because it's all out there.
Mhm.
Go
You
ahead,
know-
change my name again. Go ahead, Fuzz. I know it's you, Fuzz. I now
It's
know
not
it's you.
me, dude. I have no control, man.
Jim's doing it.
Jim.
It's okay, Jim. I don't care. It's okay. It's become a thing. I'm the guy. You guys are the bullies, and I get picked on every week. And I haven't been here. You think you'd have some sympathy for me? You know, I've had a rough year. Just got over pneumonia. I rushed home from my first band practice in like 14 years, and this is the shit I get. That's all right. I like it.
Okay. All I can say is this, Jim. All of this conversation about entities and et cetera, just makes me want to get off here and call one of my exes. Tell her how much of an asshole I think they are. That's all I'm gonna say.
Or maybe have a nice conversation, invite her over.
Nope.
No, not going there.
Nope. I'm gonna call.
You can
call
pretend you're an
ex.
elevator operator. Are you going down?
I'm gonna call an ex and
Because
Tell
you're
her
a
how
big
much
green
you don't like
meanie. You're a big green meanie.
All right, everyone. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. This episode of The Crew was brought to you by the letters F, the letters U, and the color green.
Green
Yes.
is beautiful. Green is beautiful.
the views expressed by me is not necessarily those of Nippertown or its affiliates. Thank you.
I'm not a gynecologist, but I play one.
Those views expressed in the show is not necessarily those of our corporate parent entity
Overlords.
Are they
Overlords.
true approved?
Oh God.
Can
People
we
love
seriously
that.
list Truman as our like CEO or like our corporate headquarter? Like seriously, and we'll have him come in and just put a paw up.
Our Lord and Almighty Nipper.
The Truman.
Does that mean these guys have like? Is the expression when they get all excited about us? Do they have nip-ons for us?
I think someone has a crush. That's what I'm starting to think. I think someone has a crush on Nippertown. And they
I do.
secretly have a crush, but pretend that they hate us.
I do. I love Nippertown.
It's got nothing to do with you, Amy. I think it's
I'm
someone
in the dog.
it's
What?
got
You're in
someone
the
has a crush on
doghouse.
all of us.
This is like the great rap battles of the East Coast, West Coast. Arr.
I'm really,
Halsey,
really
you're,
happy.
you're awfully quiet up there, Halsey. Are you listening? Do you have your earbuds in? Are you listening to Nirvana?
No, you know what he's listening to? He's listening to the Switzerland national anthem.
That's probably true.
Oh, Halsey, you were talking about what you could put as your background, right? Because you're so jealous of all of our backgrounds. You should do the Switzerland flag.
I should, or at least get the Swiss Alps in the background. Make it like,
Something.
make it
Mine
look
is
pretty.
the most boring background, first of all. Mine is the most boring. Halsey's got lights going on. He's still got the Christmas tree. He's got, was
Yes,
that
I
Jordan
did.
in the background?
That's
Is
got
it
Jordan right
or
there.
Scottie
Peters
Pippen?
on the wall. He's got some,
Michael
Oh.
Jordan, definitely.
like it looks like Stampalia actually went ahead and created a set scene today, and I think I need to step up my game. And I think next week I'm gonna have the bomb set,
Mhm.
like pyro and like
Oh boy.
spitting
By that
blood.
means
I mean, no one's ever,
Showgirls dancing in
no
the
one's ever
background.
spit fire of blood, right? No one's ever done that, right?
I'm just gonna stand up.
He's gonna be like Robert Palmer. He's gonna have the girls in the background. I'm addicted to
There we go.
love.
Ralph's gonna have soap bars hanging.
You know, people are still watching. They're crazy.
I know.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you keep
It's
trying
like-
to kick us off, and we just stay.
It's like that bridge in Glenville. People just sit and watch because they know eventually.
Dude, all right. So the career I left, that was my last full-time job. And I used to have to travel under that bridge every goddamn day, twice a day. And I have to tell you, twice a week, I had to get detoured around because some idiot missed the 5,000 goddamn signs that said, if your vehicle is this tall, you cannot pass. And they passed anyway and hit the fucking bridge. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Wow. Guys, remind us, don't get Amy talking about bridges.
All right, I'm going to talk about bridges. I'm going to talk about bridges.
It's road rage. I have road rage. Sorry, I have road rage.
Bridge in Glenville. We all know it because we all seen it. And on Facebook, every week, someone posts a picture. Here's another one. Some asshole crashes into the bridge.
It is my favorite thing on Two Buttons Deep is when they do the videos of the crashes.
Right.
It's not fun when you're in the traffic that has to go around it every time.
We have one in Slingerlands too. There's one in Slingerlands that happens like 4 or 5 times a year.
Brian's here to tell us all of Amy's secrets.
Thank you, Brian.
Wait, Tracy brings up an interesting. She said no one knows how to measure.
Amy?
That's not true. It's taint to tip, right? Oh, you're talking about bridges? I'm sorry. Never mind. My bad. Sorry about that.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Switzerland speaks.
Oh,
No,
wait.
Road rage is
Don't
my
leave.
thing. Road rage
Don't
is my
leave.
thing.
Oh my God. Tracy, that's exactly it. They look at it and go, wow, that's
Where'd he go?
did we lose
I'm
Ralph?
sorry. I didn't mean to get like super excited about that. It was my travel every day. And when you get detoured and have to stand in like freaking lines for an extra 20 minutes.
What do we got? He's got a prop.
It sucks.
Okay. Before we go, I just want to let you guys know that I am all set for a while with Squatch soap. Not only did I order the 5, they give you an option to receive the 5-pack automatically. It charges your card, and every 3 months, I get the 5-pack. Okay? The soap's been lasting me a little longer. That told me I should probably shower more. So based on this, I'm supposed to go through these 5 bars of soap in 3 months. We are going to do the Squatch Shower Bar of Soap Challenge. That's all. And this thing smells amazing because it's fire.
Is the Darth Vader one in there or the Star Wars one?
No, I sent those to you because I thought that your hubby was a Star Wars fan. Was I wrong?
Well, yeah. And my son's name is Anakin.
Right, and Anakin, right, of course. So that's why I sent you the Star Wars. They have Star Wars Squatch series now, which I thought that you were.
I thought you wanted me to smell like a man.
No, I didn't want you to smell. I was going to say bye from your hubby, man.
Well, now we're not independent anymore. Now we're brought to you by Squatch and
we're not brought by no, they're not a sponsor.
The Ballsy Balls and Body Grooming set.
Yeah.
BT
like
trimmer, good stuff.
Do you like
Try
our new
it.
names, Ralph? Ralph, do you like our new names?
Jim's having fun with this too. The Big Green Meanie. Why doesn't Halsey have a name? He's still not there. Mike's just an email. What can we give Halsey for a nickname?
Switzerland. Swiss cheese. Can we call it Swiss cheese?
I think that's gold right there. That's gold. Mr. Switzerland. M-I-S-T-E-R.
Same one. Yeah.
Somebody has to be the Rock.
Jim, you have way too much control over everything. Way too much control.
That's why we're not independent. No.
He's trying to be
We're all
his own
finger
business.
puppets.
Jim, how dare you? That's not nice. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's real bad. That's real bad. That's like,
Wow.
I think you should stand up and show him your dick, Fuzz.
Look at
I think you really should.
He's so proud of himself. He's so proud of himself.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, that's an insult. That's a big insult.
I'm
Jim, why don't you
sad
switch
now.
your name? Switch your
I
name.
swear to God, I feel like if Mike Timpali and I were in a party with you guys, we
Thank
would
you,
be in
Tracy.
the background, just like watching
you.
this craziness and
I'm
shit.
the
We'd just be
same
like,
one.
what the hell are we
the
doing
only
here?
two not smoking a joint. I know it too.
You guys are the
Yeah,
ones that hold the bail money.
You need the sober guys, yeah.
Yeah, you
Why-
need
why are you
your bail
calling-
buddies.
Why are you
That's
calling
right,
fuzz
absolutely.
games?
Man, no wonder I joined the Pink Boots. No,
And Amy smells like a man.
I do probably.
The thing is I think I'm kind of offended tonight. I'm offended by Jim.
I'm not, because I'll be honest, I'm the worst woman on the
That's better,
planet,
Jim.
and
Thank
I
you.
will say this
Appreciate
till
that.
I'm blue in the face. I better be a gay man in my next life, because I don't want to give up loving the dick, but I don't want to be a woman. It's true.
Oh,
Yeah, see, so I don't mind smelling like a man.
this just carried over to my show. Check that out.
Show needs more estrogen, because I don't have enough.
Highly. Even Ralph Renna can become offended, folks.
Now, you know what's funny is that all of a sudden we're just going to see the Nippertown drawing pop up. Jim's not even going to say goodbye. He's just going to cut us off at some point. He'll be like, fuck you
No,
guys,
this
you're
is
done.
great.
Out.
The Rock.
Oh, shit.
Corporate.
He's like, well, folks, I think it's time to go. We're over time. We stay on for another few minutes because he's fucking so. Jim, you're really having a blast today. It's okay.
Oh.
At our expense, Jim, you can have all the fun you want. Corporate overlord, though, man, you're starting to show those signs. Definitely. We will. I really hope that Nippertown never goes corporate. Is it a corporation?
No.
We're an
not a
LLC.
corporation, right? You're an LLC, right?
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn it into a corporation?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this LLC stands for Ladies Love, just like LL.
Lady
Cool J.
Love Central.
Ladies love cool games.
Ah, I'm offended again.
That's right. Folks, the show turns blue after 8:15. So
I thought.
Okay.
Hey, well, what happened to local
So,
music?
Jim, shouldn't it say cancel the fuzz, or what was it, fuzz that we were going with? Cancel fuzz.
Cancel fuzz, yes.
Cancel fuzz.
Please do. Please do.
Oh man.
Wow.
Guys, I'm excited. This has been a lot of fun. I've been a ball of nerves, as yesterday was my last shift in my career that I've been at for 13 years, and I'm taking a leap into the dark and exploring things that just make me happy, like photography and working for Nippertown and doing advertising, and like it's man, this is just fun. So
Well, listen,
sorry if I offended anybody.
listen, we should go out to Jim. We should go out to lunch with Jim once a week because he loves buying because of the tax write-offs on the Nippertown card. No, less. So I will never offer to buy lunch again.
Well, corporate
Jim, we get coffee tomorrow
sent him an
morning,
email
right?
that said he's got to make more write-offs. So
Good job, Tracy. So, Tracy, I just brewed my first bottle of wine during COVID. That was my COVID project that everybody was doing. Like, everybody's like getting a dog and stuff like that. I did get a dog, but I I brewed my own wine. That was awesome. We called it in the Clemmy basement instead of like the cellars, like fancy term. We're just like, Clemmy basement.
You know, I think that the Spot 518 is really a great entity for news, for local stuff, for sports. Yes, local music and March Music Madness. Spot 518, Nippertown, two separate entities coming together as one entity, coming together as one entity, and just taking over.
Yeah.
March Music Madness. No one's offering
Yeah,
prizes the way we are. We're all no names now.
we're no names.
I really feel lost. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't have a nickname. I don't have a name. Highly offended now.
So what's really neat is
Righteous.
we sometimes share articles, right, Halsey?
Yes, we
Nippertown on
do.
the Spot, we share it because you guys shared my husband's and it made him super happy. But
They sound like, you know what they sound like? They sound like Garbage Pail Kid names.
So who's gonna go supervise
we
Tracy,
should,
and
Tracy.
Amy if they go have cocktails? Fuzz, supervise.
I'm
So
in.
I did quit my career and I did pick up a job as a bartender
Nice.
at Bound by Fate Brewing, and I did join like a women's society called the Pink Boots. I mean, yeah, I'm all in. Come join me. Hang out. I'll be there Saturday. Beer wench. Beer wench is right. Yes, yes.
Jim, you're
Yes.
full of the. I'm offended again. Like
What?
I
What
never,
are you offended with
ever,
now?
ever
Oh, man.
have
Look,
seen
dude.
one of you as a bully or someone to pick on people or
Look,
to
he's
call
look at
people names and to do it publicly here on the
Didn't buy
show.
lunch.
I did my lunch because
Because you
you're a fucking credit card whore. It's why I'm Jim.
beer
I'm
wench.
buying lunch. I
Beer
invited-
wench. I'm okay with that. I am a beer wench. I'm
She's
fine.
good with it. She's like, yep.
No, you're not. It's horrible. That's horrible.
Wench? Oh, I love that term.
Oh,
That's fine.
man.
I'm fine with it.
Speaking of Capital Underground, Capital Underground is the only entity that brings you the newest music first. I am standing by that statement. And take my picture. So
Yes.
I'm standing by that. And this Monday's episode coming up, we're going to be bringing you some new. I'm not going to mention it because the other entities will try to steal it. But we're going to be speaking to some new artists, people who have written and recorded and produced their own music. And it was their first effort. And we're going to be premiering some cool things. Hopefully, Jim's going to let us announce more for Nipperfest. Maybe we should talk about that.
So excited about Nipperfest.
Nippertown Radio, ? Do tell, please.
I haven't decided yet. Thinking
We're
hard.
waiting.
I told you,
We're
man.
waiting on official word.
So, Nippertown Radio. I like the ring of that.
You
Independent.
should put Mr. Independent Media.
You're killing it, man. You really are hitting on the head tonight. As long as we don't become a corporation.
I think if
Because-
anything, Nippertown would become. What is that like Stewart's? How like everybody has part in the ownership? What is that
Oh, my.
called? Huh? What did you say, Foz?
I
Stewart's,
said, oh my.
it's called
She said I'm the
it's
green
called-
Manalishi.
It's called the Dake family owns it. No,
Well, I know they own it, but they have like their workers have part in it. Like you can have a portion of it. What's that called when like your workers have part in it?
stock options.
Communism.
There you go. It's
Communism.
See,
Oh my god. So anyway, it is 8:30. We stayed for half an hour longer than we really should, but we do. I like what Matt said. Y'all get crazy. Y'all go wild in the extra innings. He brought it right back to that baseball thing. No,
Tune in tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
That
7
buzzing rock show.
o'clock. That fuzzing rock show, where he will be talking about a different type of power trios.
You know, I don't
Take
have an
share.
interview tomorrow
That's
night. You
what it
guys
is.
are all welcome
Take
to come out. We can
do a Thursday
do
crew.
the second set, you know.
Just I'll have to paint my room green.
I don't know. I have green light. We should all do. All of us have green, something green. And
Okay.
just join Fuzz for a little while or something.
I could do that.
I got something.
It's not easy being green.
Listen,
No.
man, I got no guests tomorrow night. If you guys want to come on,
Oh, I'm so
Let me know.
tired.
you let me know.
Seriously, everyone, go to Nippertown and nominate your favorite local band for March Madness. They could win a lot of money, a lot of prizes, a lot of cool things, great sponsors, and we have so much good local music, and it gets them seen.
Nippertown Radio. I like it. I think it's time for Nippertown to start a radio station, because then we truly be like really a standout entity.
I just think of it as you can listen to it while if you own a shop or something, and you can play all local music. Like if you own a shop downtown Troy, downtown Albany, like anything, you can play our radio station.
I I love WEXT and I love WEQX. I love both of them. I think they're great. Obviously, WXT, they've welcomed us. We do the Nippertown Local 518 Music Report. So don't want to do anything to interrupt either of their flows because I really respect those stations. The other
There's
ones,
only one thing to do, Jim, and that's join forces.
yeah, you know,
We should email Chris Wink right now.
you know, they're good people. I like Keller and Jeff over at EQX. I like Chris and Dave and everybody over at EXT. Like I said, I don't like ruffling feathers. You know, if people get upset at us because we're just doing things better, that's on them. But I don't purposely try to push, you know. I mean, I might have fun with them a little bit, but
I just emailed Chris Wink. Don't worry about it. It should be all set.
it's all done. It's all set.
That's it. Boom.
He won't. Chris Wink never responds to me. Usually,
And by the way, guys, Bob Saget died of head trauma.
Wow.
what the fuck?
So
You
what
found
does
it
that
here.
mean?
It just
Am I
came out of-
inappropriate by asking?
Was the rumor COVID?
I don't know what the rumor was.
He must have
So-
fell or something.
Or did he have someone special?
Or
I
no,
don't
Ryan
understand.
threw a
I don't
fastball, hit him in the head.
Yes.
I'll never get it. What the whole fuss was over Betty White. What the whole fuss over was of Bob Saget. I don't understand the fuss. I do like the Meatloaf memes of like Rosie O'Donnell and says R.I.P. Meatloaf. I love those. But I never understood the fuss over Betty White. What was the fuss over her?
She's a legend, man.
She's a genuine
What made her a
lady.
She's a
legend?
goddess.
She's an actress? Because I heard she was a whore. I did. I heard that she, back in the day, she like dated everybody. Or she was like a groupie for Frank Sinatra. But I'm not going
Wish
to
I'd
touch
met her.
Betty White either.
So for the next crew, if you slept with Betty White, please ask to join our next crew. Okay.
Yeah, we want to know, have you ever caught, you know,
Oh yeah, we jumped.
Was you caught brain from Betty
Catch you guys all later. See you guys next week.
Oh, now it's time to go.